Hello everybody, welcome to a special edition of Driving with Nick. We are going to take a little bit different of a drive today. So yeah, I hope everybody's having a great day and had a great week. And we are here at the driving range with my golfing buddy Reese, and we're going to do a little bit different drive today and talk about motorcycle insurance. So I hope everybody had a great week, like I said. Excuse me while we back up.
Ah!
Oh, sorry.
Dad!
Sorry, Reese. So, motorcycle insurance. This, now that I've seen more people out and about with their motorcycles, and we've seen,
Dad, I'm scared when we were stuck.
we've seen more people on their motorcycles. I thought this was something really good we should talk about. So, I also had a request from my camera woman, Reese, to talk about motorcycle insurance. So without any further ado, let's chat about that a little bit, right? So motorcycle insurance is not that much different than regular insurance, right? There is some differences that I wanted to talk about, things that you should probably think about. So with that, you're going to have the same thing just like regular insurance. You're going to have your liability. Now, this is not as expensive as your auto insurance because think about it from the standpoint of that liability being bodily injury and property damage, which is the stuff that you hit. You're really not going to hit too many things, right? And if you do hit something, it's not going to do as much damage as if you were in a pickup truck. So the important thing, though, is to make sure that you have guest liability. And what that means is if you have somebody on your...
Dad, no grass.
If you have somebody as a passenger on your policy, or I'm sorry, on your motorcycle, that this covers them in the event that they should have any injuries. So that is important to think about, right? Make sure that your policy has that. Some policies exclude them, so we want to make sure that your policy, if you have a motorcycle, has guest rider liability. Also, you're going to have medical payments just like you would on your auto policy, and you're going to have your constant collision, right? Now, motorcycles, we do a little differently in that there could be a lot of customization as it pertains to those bikes. So we want to make sure we cover that. So if you have any special paint or any special chrome or anything like that, anything done differently to your motorcycle than, let's call it standard, you want to make sure you take care of that, right? You want to make sure that you cover that. Most policies give somewhere between $2,000 and $3,000 for any customization, which could also include safety, helmet, boots, things like that. So if you do anything extra to your bike or you add anything, please make sure that you tell your agent, tell myself or whoever. Also, make sure that if you change anything, right? So if you get any work done to your bike or anything like that, that you go ahead and get that taken care of, get that, let us know so that that coverage is not super duper expensive, but it is something that we want to make sure that we cover, all right? Also from there, towing. Towing can be a little different on a motorcycle in that we can also have something called trip interruption coverage. And what that does is, God forbid that you are more than 100 miles away from your house, something happened to your bike, we can go ahead and have some coverage for towing if you should have to have like be put up in a hotel or something like that. Meals, there's different things that can be. So if you take trips on your bike, it's important to talk about that with your agent. Like, hey, we do this. What does that cost? Things like that. It's usually over 100 miles, and it's not super duper expensive. And if you do go on bike trips and do things like that, it's something really, really good feature to have, and something that might help you. Last thing I want to talk about as it pertains to bikes is that because where we are in Northwest Indiana, you don't use them all year round. Some companies allow us to lay those up. And what that means is that on the months that you're not driving it, so let's say you drive it from May to 6 months, let's say May to November, those other 6 months you can lay it up. We keep comprehensive on there, but everything else we take off, and that saves us some money, right? And I apologize. There's one thing else I wanted to talk about here before we end our drive, and that is underinsured motorist bodily injury. On motorcycles, this is usually one of the more expensive coverages, and that is because obviously if somebody was to hit you, there could be more bodily injury done than if you were in a car. So, and their limits might get exhausted quicker. So there is this coverage, and that is important to have. Don't necessarily, and double check, because some bikes don't necessarily cover it. Some policies say, oh, you gotta have a minimum. So make sure that you match those coverages up to what you normally have so that you are protected, right? Again, if you should have any questions or anything like that, or you want to talk about this anymore, please don't hesitate to give me a call, DM me, or whatever. And today I want to thank my camera person, Reese, and for this topic, and also for holding the camera today in our different drive. Hope everybody has a great weekend, and I will look forward to talking to you next week. Thanks so much. Bye.
Dad, you have 3 people who watch.